Hey folks, this is the other Barak coming to you live and direct here from the Holy Land in Israel. We have Gad Saad today on a video talking about what the Islamists ultimately think, and that is that they hate the Jews. Let's take a listen to what he has to say, an incredible thinker, an incredible mind. And as always, let's talk about it after.
Golda Meir, who was the prime minister of Israel, I think maybe the fourth from maybe 1969 to 73 or something around that. I might get the numbers wrong. She was the first female prime minister, has a couple of quotes that really capture the dilemma in that region. One thing she said is that if the Palestinians learn to love their children as much as they hate ours or something like that, then would have peace. Maybe I botched it a bit. And the second one is that if we put down our arms, there would be a genocide. If they put down their arms, there would be peace. It has nothing to do with piece of land. It has nothing to do with contested territories. Let me break it down for you. I recently discussed this on the Joe Rogan show, but it's worth repeating here for those of you who don't watch Joe Rogan. Islam has the concept. It's a duality concept. The world is divided into two. There is Dar al-Islam and Dar al-Harb. Dar al-Islam means the house of Islam. Dar al-Harb, Harb in Arabic means the house of war. So the entire world is broken up into either blue or red. House of Islam or house of war. What does that mean? Any land that Islam conquers and then loses is forevermore canonically under the house of Islam. Any land that has not yet ever been colonized and conquered by Islam is in the house of war. It is to be conquered. That's why the end result is that Islam is peaceful, because it seeks peace through the unification of the entire world under the unifying flag of Allah. Okay? Now, in the Middle East, every single society that had existed prior to Islam has been eradicated, right? In Egypt, Coptic Christians were the majority. Now they constitute 10% of Egypt, okay? In Syria, there was huge Christians. Lebanon used to be a predominantly Christian country. Within my lifetime and yours, Lebanon went from being predominantly Christian to now being majority Muslim. Within our lifetime, not 500 years.
Really important. Lebanon, as I believe, as same with Egypt, used to be predominantly Christian, which are now predominantly Muslim. And so for the Christian audience, for the Christians listening, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, this is not just a Jewish thing. It's framed as an anti-Zionist thing. Well, you know what, people, sorry, Israel is pretty fucking important to the Christian community. So it's like, if you're a Christian, I'm going to say it right now. If you're a Christian and you're anti-Israel and anti-Jew and anti-Zionist and you're pro-Palestinian and you're for the Free Palestine movement, sorry, you're a fucking hypocrite is what you are to your own religion, bro. Sis. It doesn't make sense, man. It does not make sense, bro. As a Christian, it is so hard for me to believe and so hard for me to comprehend that you can openly, willingly agree with what Hamas did on the 7th of October, agree with the destruction of the state of Israel, wish for what's happening for Jewish people, not stand up for... It's fucking nuts, bro. Jesus was a Jew. I don't know what else to say.
What happened to the Iraqi Christians? Persia had a culture before Islam. Now it's become Islamic. So no ideology has conquered and colonized as much as Islam has. So if you're worried about the colonization of Zionism, then by any stretch of the imagination, if you're going to be logical, then you have to be worried and upset about the colonization of 56 countries that were once not Islamic, and in many cases they became Islamized through brute force. That's why there is the sword of Islam. It doesn't capture that we're going to cut bananas together. It captures that I put the sword to your neck, and when I conquer you, I give you choices, 3 choices. Either convert or die or live as a dhimmi. Dhimmi means as a not even second-class citizen, you're a third-class citizen, right? So, for example, Jews and Christians have often been tolerated under Islamic law. So, for example, you hear about the golden period of Andalusia, right, which is in current Spain. All that means is that you are tolerated until you're not, right? But you're always walking a precarious high wire, right? On any given moment, you better put on your really fast running shoes and run really fast because your head's going to be detached. So we lived very nicely in Lebanon until we didn't, right? And that's the history of the entire region. Now, Jews have existed in the Middle East for thousands of years before the word Islam ever came to be. So if we're going to use historical precedents, it's a game that the enemies of Judaism are going to lose. But here's what I propose. How about you teach your children that there could be people who live next to you? We can debate where we draw the line, but there is a group of people that have thousands of years of provenance to that land. By the way, Palestine, when you said Palestinians until recently, it referred to the indigenous Jews of that area called Palestine. Palestine, as you hear it today, is a concoction from the 1960s. There is no Palestinian people. They're Jordanian, they're Egyptian, right? There is no such thing as Palestine, other than it's a territory that has been mandated by different groups. A while back by the Ottomans, more recently British mandate, and so on. So imagine if we can teach the children of our neighbors that Jews have a right to exist. We can be neighbors. Let's love each other. It's perfectly natural for us to coexist.
That's a big point that I think a lot of the anti-Israel camp need to think about, because when they have conversations at the round table talking about like, how do we progress through this conflict here, I'm not, sorry guys, I'm not hearing a lot of rhetoric about them being willing to have the conversation of like, Jews have a right to exist, and we should probably think about how we're gonna live together in peace side by side. Like, doesn't that explain the intention of what one side is trying to achieve? No, for real. Like, if you draw up a fucking timeout with a basketball team and the coach brings the clipboard and they start drawing up the play and the coach is telling the team what he's looking out, what he wants for the play, what they're trying to achieve, you can understand the intent. You can understand what the aim, what the goal is. When you have fucking anti-Israel fascists and people in the streets literally screaming for people to fucking destroy Israel, that sets the intention. It sets the intention in the street, it sets the intention at the dinner table, and it sets the intention on fucking social media. Why is the silent majority not able to at least just fucking recognize that? And why is the loud minority, those who have the ability to fucking think rationally, not able to look left or look right and be like, okay, I don't like Israel, but it'd be nice to not have war. It'd be nice to have peace. Why the fuck are the people next to me who agree with me shouting for more war? That's not what we want, guys, right? Like, fuck Israel, but why are we asking for more war? Why are we asking for the death of Israel and the death of America? Why are these not the questions that are being asked? I would never, ever, ever go to a pro-Israel rally for the return of all the hostages and not say something to somebody who was standing next to me who was there for the same reason, also asking to go fucking nuke every single person in Gaza. I would say something and I would condemn it. They don't do that shit, bro. Then they find themselves shouting it too. Yet no wonder we don't think you're a peaceful movement.
Think that Israel is actually interested in committing a genocide? Because if they wanted to commit a genocide, well, let's think it through. It would take well less than the time that I've been on this show today for every single Palestinian to be eradicated, given Israel's might. Is that true? Is that a true statement? It is.
Sure.
Okay. Yet they haven't done. As a matter of fact, the Palestinian population has increased fivefold. So Jews are really shit at the genocidal game because population increased fivefold, right? When the Nazis were trying to exterminate the Jews, they were trying to get rid of them. They got rid of 6 million. So the reality is that Palestinians are taught that the highest value, to speak earlier about what we were talking about, what's your value, what's driving you in the morning. There is no greater goal than to liberate hence free Palestine, from the river to the sea, from the Jordanian River to the Mediterranean Sea, free of Jews. I grew up in that world. I speak to those people. I mean, now it's harder for me to speak to them in Arabic because they recognize me. But 25 years ago, when I wasn't as known and I could mix amongst the folks who speak Arabic, it was very clear. Jews are a cancer in that region, and we must get rid of them as we have all other societies.
Well, that sounds pretty fucking toxic if you ask me. I don't know what team I would want to join if that's what they represent. You know? Don't sign me up for that. No. You don't have to like them, don't have to love them, don't have to agree with everything that they do. But to pursue the mission and the mission statement in the charter of just like utter destruction, nothing else. You know, it's not a surprise that we haven't been able to find some fucking solution here with this conflict, people. I don't know what else to tell you. It's so important to listen to the people around you who agree with you, and then listen to what they're advocating for. Listen to how they're trying to solve it. We always hear people saying, well, I'm not a military expert, so don't ask me. I don't have the solution. But, well, I'm not a geopolitician, but I'm not the prime minister, but I'm not the president, but I don't call the shots, but I'm not in power. But if it's the but, then what would you do? What would you, and what they say, what they ask for, what they're chanting in the streets, that's what they would do. If they could get away with it, that's what they would do. They'd have no problem with Iran nuking Israel right now. TikTok would explode. Do you know how many people on X would be cheering right now, having fucking live spaces, live streams on YouTube, fucking banners, people going around the world, honking, cheering, passing out candies, waving Palestinian flags in the air if fucking Iran nuked Israel? Do you understand the celebration that would exist amongst the people who have been asking for it? For real. It should explain a lot to you about the intention in what they're looking to achieve. I keep saying the intention in what they're looking to achieve because that's how you reverse engineer the ideology of what a movement is about, what they represent. What's the end goal, bro? Forget the now. Where do you want to be in a year, in 2 or 5? Many of them wish Israel wasn't here. Okay. It's not going anywhere. Sorry. It's fucking protected. Not just by its military, it's protected by spirit, bro. Israel's not going anywhere. It has to be here. Israel has to be here. There's no such thing as Earth without Israel. There never has been. You know? Some people fucking have a really hard time biting that bullet. Sorry. There you go. On a platter for you. Have a great day. If you want to continue the conversation, you can support my work for free. Discord does not cost a thing. It is the best way to connect with me and others who are seeking the truth. The link is in the description. But if you want to take it one step further, my Patreon gives you access to the Israel you don't see, uncovering the untold stories of what mainstream media does not show you. The link is in the description, and it helps me to continue this work. Or if you're just looking to help this thing go, PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee is a really easy way to support me. This channel, this work does not happen without all of you. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time.